Wait, is this thing on? Can y'all hear me? Okay, here we go.
Woo! Just a dash. Just a dash. Just a dash. Just a dash.
Make a clap.
Make a clap. First of all, hello to everyone. Hi, sweet peas. This is a special episode of Just a Dash. For those who are new or for those who are returning, this is the second season. And you might know, if you don't know, we are focusing on home and really what are the different things we cultivate in our lives to create home. And I'm excited to have Nico here with me because Nico is one of my good friends, neighbor to friend pipeline. You'll notice that that's a big thing in my life. Nico is one of the 1282 gang. So just someone who I lived in the same building with for a long time. And I wanted to have this conversation and this experience with Nico today because our relationship began through food and it really nurtured our friendship, but it also nurtured my understanding of home. Nico, something, and I tell you this all the time, something I really admire about you is your relationship to food. I think it's a way that you center yourself, but also a way you find community, the way that you show people you care, and you create everything from your heart. So I really wanted to explore this topic with you because especially in a place like New York, which can feel so transient, food can sometimes be treated as just like sustenance, like you're just getting a quick meal. You're not really enjoying your relationship to food and understanding how it also allows you to feel at home and in your body, So, I've done enough chatting, but I do want you to introduce yourself a little bit, and just whatever you'd like to share with, with our viewers and our listeners today. If you want to share how we met through food, just take it away. Do your thing.
Goodness. All right. Well, let's see. My recollection of how we first met was you knocked on our door. We had just moved in, or I had just moved in to live there. And you were like, "Hey guys, I'm having a Halloween party because Halloween is
my favorite
the hallowed day."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I'll let the people know." And you said it smelled delicious. And I said, "Oh well, I'm Cuban." I said, I'm cooking enough food for like 40 people. I'm literally in here by myself. Here, let me make you a quick, so I sent you with a Tupperware.
Yes.
And then the next time I saw you were like, "Oh my God, thank you." And you were like, "That felt like home. I'm Haitian. Caribbean food is so grounding."
Absolutely.
And so that was
the start. That was the start.
And I brought you lights for your party. I can't come to your party, but here's some lights.
No, Nico, I literally was just telling Nico this before we even started recording, but Nico is truly a jack of all trades. You're such a creative person in so many different spaces. But I think my favorite thing is also there's just always so much intentionality around the food. I mean, that was the first meal, but you also had your own meal prep service at a certain point called Feast Fairy, and I got to be one of the first participants in that, and that was incredible. Every time I would heat up this food, it would taste better and better, and you were always so mindful with just like how the food was preserved over time, it was so special, and you continue to stay in my life when it comes to food. Actually, when I moved into this apartment, you made the food for my housewarming party.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that. I remember and forget all the time.
Yeah.
I remember that it happened. And
Yes, and I remember, in that moment I had a friend who you had created, we really worked on the menu together.
Right, and a poet friend. I remember that discussion.
Yes.
That show.
And she was like, "There's Caribbean food here. There's like oxtail. Like, who is this chef?" And I pointed you out, and she was like surprised. There's a beautiful way that you integrate food, just into someone's story, into someone's background, which we're gonna get to in a little bit. But before we even jump into all that, you've already begun. As you can see, the chef is already hard at work. I am the sous chef today. I am usually, if I'm over at their apartment, you and Ty, I am helping, I feel like, in the kitchen. I enjoy it.
Indeed.
So,
in the home kitchen, I feel like one of the principal responsibilities of the sous chef is to chat.
Yes.
In a restaurant, like restaurant chefs, you're like, basically the sous chef is doing everything,
right.
And the chef just appears every once in a while to scream.
Okay. You're a different type of chef, though. You like to be involved. You like to be in the mix.
Oh, you know what I didn't grab?
What do you mean?
May I please have a spoon?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I want it.
Thank you, sous chef.
Okay.
Nobody's ever heard those words. We need to love sous chef.
But before we actually even jump into the conversation, I do want to start with, and I think everyone who's watching me, who listens to me frequently enough knows I love there to be intentionality in whatever I'm doing. So even today, part of the reason that I wanted to capture this on film, if you will, is because it's an experience to cook together. It's an experience to make a meal, to share a meal, and to do it in your home and to do it with a friend. But I know you also were pretty intentional about this meal. So what are we making today, and what inspired it?
All right. Well, this was the plan formerly known as poblano mac and cheese. Now it's gonna be. Oh
my gosh. Okay, child, we could not find poblano peppers.
Apparently there's like a global poblano shortage.
Apparently.
And nobody's ever heard of them.
Ever.
Like, they're looking at me so blank.
Yeah, they were very confused.
But then when I said, okay, well, I'll take some jalapenos, friend said, well, jalapenos are spicy, poblanos aren't spicy. I was like, so you do know what a poblano
So you do know what we're talking about.
But anyway, so I can't find them anywhere lately. It's been weird. But so it's gonna be a poblano mac and cheese. Part of it, I come from a design background, so like really embracing your constraints. And Dash was like, we have minimum, kind of surface or area.
This is a New York apartment.
So I was like, okay, what's something that we don't have to like spread out too much or have to reset too many times on our space. So, most of this takes place on the stove because we just have to make the mac and cheese sauce and boil our noodles. But also, I have a buddy at work who we decided to make like a little lunch club where we each just make extra of something on alternating weeks and bring extra for the other friend. And so she had made some poblano mac and cheese a while back, and it slapped. Well, I didn't get to eat hers because I'm gluten-free, so I had to make my own, but that slapped. Yeah. And so I was like, dude, I'm craving that again. We got to do it.
Okay.
So...
And that actually, I love that you even said that you're craving that, because I think one of the best things I love is that, like, if you are craving something, you're like, I'm gonna make it. Like, that's it. Like, it's really that simple for you.
I love having what I want. And like, that's so hard to do in this world. It's so hard to do in this world. So if you can, like, be like, I want poblano mac and cheese, like, you can have that. Or, I mean, I'm very lucky to be able to just go to a store and, like, get
right,
stuff.
but you can source what you need to create it.
Yeah,
like,
there's,
I think...
It's a daily way to just, like, get a dopamine hit.
That
to want and to have. And it's like, I gotta eat anyway, so I could be utilitarian about it, but it's, like, a daily, constant opportunity to indulge, too. Like, and I'm kind of an indulgent person.
Okay. Before I jump to my first question, is there anything I can help with, or is it better for me to just be asking questions right now? What do you think?
I think as the needs arise, we'll know, and then I can just...
Okay.
But for now, you just do your questioning to just be in your curiosity.
Okay. I feel a little bit like Vanna White.
Quick PSA, if you're dealing with jalapenos, wear some gloves, because you can wash your hands 100 times, but you still can get those jalapeno hands, and that's the best case scenario. Slightly less good, you like scratch your nose, and then your little eyeballs are...
That's
and then like worst case scenario, you like scratch your thigh or something, or go to the bathroom, and then...
I know that you're speaking from experience just based on that reaction.
And not firsthand, that's anecdotal, that's like not my story to share, but I do know someone firsthand, which now, friend of a friend now makes it not a credible source, but I know that it's a credible source. You heard it in my
I trust you, and I'm sure that I've done something similar before. I kind of want to rewind because I feel like in general you have such a fascinating backstory, and just... We both, we're Florida people over here, okay?
I can really claim that, though. I left Miami when I was like a baby. I got a job being a baby in Philadelphia.
But there was a lot of influence, I feel like, when we talk in terms of just like, at least culturally, I feel like there's a lot of influence. Maybe not Miami, but definitely being Cuban. I think there's always a tie there. And so I'm curious about where your love for food really began, and what really is the first meal that really struck you like, oh, like I have a different relationship to food than, maybe other people might have.
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think like a big one would be, just like
for these peppers.
Yeah, I'll put them here. Okay. So maybe good on bold. But what I do need, we're about to burn our tucuses. Can we preheat the oven?
Absolutely. What's
this nice summer day? I don't know, 420.
Okay. Let me make sure nothing's in your shop.
That PSA, especially in New York, because you're like storing your extra linens in there.
Okay.
Check your oven before you preheat.
And I do know from experience, I actually did have a roommate who forgot something in the oven, and literally I think it was like Tupperware, and the fire department was called because of course, you know, when you have these gas stove shot, anything could happen. But yeah, what can you, or it can just be like your first memory around food. Like what's like the first thing that feels most striking to you?
I mean, I think it's like, I mean, a big one is, and I know there's like, the world now requires people to have like 2 working parents, and like I grew up in a like multi-generational house. At one point there were 4 generations, so like my grandma cooking for us every day was a, you know, pretty constant thing. And so I think just like, you know, that's a form of privilege, doesn't get named, but like somebody that loved me and knew my face was cooking for me every day.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that then the difference between like that food and the food that like I literally thought of them as the American kids. I like also I have a US passport. But like as a kid, you know, I'm like, oh, this is different. Like you just are eating your food, right? And then the first time you like go to someone else's house for dinner,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, they're like eating spaghetti and drinking milk.
Oh my
and
gosh.
that was
the
like,
food combinations are really concerning.
it was just very, I'm trying to be non-judgmental about it, but I'm just like, this is not what I eat at home.
Sure.
And so I like I came to like understand. I was always like very aware of my identity because the food that I ate was different. And we did school lunches. My mom and grandma were lunch ladies at my elementary school because everybody had to work at our house. Like,
yeah,
but it
of
was
course.
just like, but which, you know, as a kid, that's like mortifying. You're like, oh my god, my mom and grandma like not only work at my school, but then like the lunch, because kids are just such jerks. Like we inherit classism so early, and there's like, oh, the lunch ladies. I'm like, dude, that is the person who is feeding you your lunch every day.
Which is a good point, even what you were saying about like the quality of food and how it is a privilege what you have accessibility to, or who's cooking for you in your home.
Right.
Yeah.
So even at school, eating school lunches with probably on some kind of like, that's probably why they worked there, so they could get like subsidized lunches or something. But like even then, my grandma was still handing me my food.
Giving you food. That's what I was gonna say. I know you were still getting a home cooked meal,
but,
and it does make a difference in your life when you get a home cooked meal. I do think there is something to be said about food routines being established from a young age if you're seeing that in your home versus like if your parents buy out every day, or if you eat out at a restaurant every day, or if you eat in front of the TV, like those things become your established relationship.
But then even like restaurants, you know, that's another kind of like I have an uncle from Argentina who had restaurants. He and my cousin had opened a pizzeria. They love pizza in Argentina. It's like a big pizza.
Really?
Yeah, there's so many Italians there. Like it's like German and Italian, like kind of the big.
I could see that.
Pizza is like the next most popular one after steak. So we had this pizzeria. My cousins and my brothers and I like ran it together for years. Downtown Denver. It was a beautiful era. But that uncle, he was also like, he had like a giant like brick barbecue that he had built in his backyard with like a coal heating pit in it with like a shovel. And, like,
y'all are all resourceful, and it just runs in your family.
Immigrant family, like immigrants.
Yeah,
that's
you
like
create things. Everyone's a MacGyver.
Yeah,
my dad was like that too. He's my resident MacGyver.
But I mean, a giant backyard grill is like standard issue in Argentina. Like my uncle told me, he was like, no, we were talking to a friend that was having a house built. And he was like, oh yeah, like the grill will go here. And he's like, oh, you're already thinking about the grill. He's like, that would be like building a house without a toilet. What are you talking about? Like, so it's like, standard issue. Yeah. So anyway, but that uncle, like he had like disco lights in his living room, a huge sound system, a huge music collection. Like he knows how to party.
Life of the party.
He knows how to party. So yeah, we would like have these huge gatherings. I was always allowed to bring whatever friends, you know, because I think the other thing with like my like American friends or whatever is like, family time was family time. Like they're like, I have to go to this thing with my family, or I have a family gathering. And like my family gatherings, like my friends were allowed to come. I'd have like 8 friends come to our like barbecues and stuff. So they were always like really porous with my friends, or like I never really came out to my family. Like they just like, started bringing girls to the party.
Yeah,
I was like, she's sweet. Is she nice to you?
It was always like I feel like every time you share a story just from like your youth or from your upbringing, it always feels so communal. And that was just, I feel like that was just the baseline of how you engage with your community, and you know how you show up for each other, how you care, how you appreciate one another. I just feel like they set you up to be this person who shows care through your actions in that way.
I feel set up by that. It's another form of privilege that I name. I feel like they really let me just be myself, and not everybody got to be their self their whole life. Some people just get to meet themselves as an adult. And
because you're the sort of person, Nico, you will always offer to, like if someone comes over your home, you're cooking for them, or you're offering them a snack, or you're presenting something new that you created, an ingredient that you experimented on. I mean, you made deconstructed chicken sandwiches for Easter. They were, I cannot say how delicious these chicken sandwiches were. Like, it was a combination of every like fast food chicken sandwich you love. And you just always are excited to share. So I'm curious, you know, why is food such an important part of friendship and community for you? Like, how do you center that in your life now?
I mean, part of me is like the pragmatist in me, where I'm like, I gotta eat, like, and like, and you know, as a person who's gluten free, like, I have like these dietary limitations, so a lot of like things that I want, I can't just go to like, you know, these to try not to product place from these big, huge, horrible corporations. But I'm like, dang, I want that classic chicken sandwich that's like nostalgic. But if I ate it now, it would probably be gross. But if I get like yummy not grass fed chicken, whatever they are, you know, happy chickens, and I
cage free,
and I use my gluten free, free range chickens, and I get my like gluten free flour, and I get my gluten free buns, and then I have this like classic chicken sandwich. And so sometimes it goes back to that like craving where I'm like, I want this thing. And I can't necessarily have it. But then the thing is, then that's gonna take time. And so I'm like, you know, if I will only cook by myself, then I will never see anyone. So I'm just like, come sit with me while I'm cooking. So I just like, then by virtue of that, it means that I'm like, you know, inviting people into my space to be with me while I'm doing this thing. But also, it's just like there's sort of this practical level to it too.
Okay, this one's ready.
Amazing. All right, so we're gonna.
What's next?
I'm gonna finish cutting I got some questionable jalapenos. Well, not questionable. I'm just cutting the less than beautiful parts off.
Okay.
And then we're gonna like toss these in. We can get rid of all of our little scraps in a second here, and then we'll use the same bowl to toss these in some oil.
Do you want olive or canola?
Go olive. Thank you.
Okay.
Give it a generous squirt.
And do you need, are we using this for the peppers?
Sure are.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, licensing.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did it.
I know, it's like this, it's like this physiological response. If I say yeah or hear I can't. So the same thing happens if you say slow motion, or I want to. Boom.
Okay.
All right. Pop it in. You want to pop it in, sous chef?
Yes, I do.
All right, do the honors.
All right, we are putting the peppers into roast.
Check my technique.
And this is definitely how I know that you come from a Caribbean background, because you just said that you don't have a set timer. It's by how you feel. That was like definitely how.
No ethnic people does.
No, I'm just gonna say now, I don't think I have like a written down recipe from any of my family members. It's either by word of mouth or watching them. There are two dishes that my mom makes really well: mac and cheese and potato salad. I've had to learn just by watching her. I've not mastered the mac and cheese yet, but I have mastered the potato salad, which I feel like you can attest to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is my signature. That is my signature dish.
Yeah, you just do it till it's done. That's kind of the.
Pretty much. Okay, so what do we have next?
It's boiling. The oven has been preheated. We are about to make our sauce and boil our pasta. So we're gonna make sure this lid isn't too hot.
Hop into it.
Make this boiling water, salty like the sea.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay.
And you want to wait till it's boiling, apparently, because it maybe boils faster. I thought it lowered the boiling temperature, but apparently you wait till it's boiling.
I do have a question for you while you're doing this.
Yeah.
So you did mention earlier that, you know, part of cooking for yourself and even creating new ingredients or new recipes for yourself has to do with your own food restrictions around being gluten-free. How do you think living in New York you've had to really become creative around that, or do you think that this is a place that allows you to be able to feed yourself in the ways that you most desire without sacrificing, you know, quality ingredients, quality food, quality tastes? How's that been for you?
I think that the sacrifice is more like financial. Like I pay more for everything I need because I have a particular need, and I think that from like a radical equity standpoint, it would make sense to just absorb that into the cost of all of your pizzas instead of making me pay $2 more for my pizza because I have a medical condition that requires me to like. So that part of it is hard, but you know, like you get $2 extra for like a sandwich that's half the size. It's like it becomes insulting at a certain point.
How do you combat that?
I suck it up and pay it, and I cook. Yeah, I cook for myself. I want a sandwich. I'm like doing that on my own.
When you think about just like, because obviously you have a love for food. I feel like you get excited to cook a meal. You have like a natural motivation. Oh, for how long?
for 13 minutes apparently.
Okay. And that's gluten-free pasta, by the way, that we're using. I guess my other question for you when it comes to like accessibility and those sorts of things, like what do you think is a more sustainable, or when you imagine like what food sustainability or food accessibility looks like, what would be ideal to you? Like how do you think it should be to make people more engaged and excited about what they're eating?
I mean, I think more localized food sources so that we're like not using so much fossil fuel to transport food.
Yeah.
I think feeling more connected to the people who are actually growing our food would be helpful. I think that because it is such a community thing, you know, by the time it's that like itadakimasu thing, like it's like so much has to happen for like you to even have just like a raw vegetable in your hands. Like so many hands have touched that. And to have less hands touch it. So maybe it's just like a farmer and maybe like someone who works there on the farm and maybe whoever came to like sell it to me. So that's part of it. And then I think, I'm like a creative evangelist. I think food is creative, and I'm like, people forget that they have creative power. Like, and I think that there's like helplessness that's taught to us around a lot of things, and like this huge one, which like we have to deal with always and forever. We feel so helpless about, and so I just want people, like, I think if people felt more empowered to cook. So I like concept-based cooking more than like recipes, and for some people the recipe feels safe, but I'm like, then I have to buy everything on this list and stuff. I want to be able to like work
more to that. What is concept-based cooking?
Like just looking at what I have, just understanding that basically stuff is gonna have a shape. There's a way of heating it. There's like a way of giving it flavors, and like beyond that, you know, like we all have a huge frame of reference for food. Like, if you like, you know what a hamburger looks like. And if you're willing to actually form the thought, you can like
create it,
do the thing. You know, and that's many dishes. Like, just sit down and think about like the plate in front of you at the restaurant, right? Like, okay, well, it has this and that and that. Okay, like worst case scenario, you don't get it right, but like it's still, unless you severely burn it or like super duper oversalt it, like it's gonna be fine. Like you're eating some vegetables.
That's real.
So
I do think sometimes people overthink it, you know, and it feels like a skill set that's almost scary, and you don't know what to do or how to start.
I'm like, you could do it. Like,
I like the idea of making it approachable in that way. Okay, what's the next step that we're doing right now?
We're making this mac and cheese sauce, and I know that there are like recipes for this, and I see this may or may not turn out well because I don't use recipes. I just like kind of remember loosely what we're doing.
Okay.
Like I know, I always start by melting the butter because you got to make like the roux apparently. So we're gonna melt this butter and we're gonna like mix some gluten-free flour into it to make this like gooey paste.
Okay. All right, I'm excited by this. How many of the meals you create are like original concepts, or is it something that you are pulling from a memory from before? Like how do you come to determine what meal you're creating?
I think if it feels like I don't have an idea of how to approach it, I will just type into the internet, you know, chicken piccata recipe, and then I'll just look at the list of ingredients and I'll kind of blast through the steps and make sure there's nothing that was like out of left field. But I'm like, okay, and if it's what I thought, then I'll just kind of do it like this. I just kind of do it. I tried to make an Alfredo sauce last night and it turned out kind of like great. Like the ricotta stayed, and it's like ricotta, and I'm like, so what? It still tasted good. Like, so what? But most of the time it comes out really smooth for me. This might turn out lumpy mac sauce, but you know what? It's gonna be melted cheese and noodles.
It's still gonna be something you can consume. I think that's also a really beautiful part of your mentality around food as well, is that you take a lot of the pressure off.
And any creativity. I'm like, write a bad song, make an ugly graphic, take a photo that you throw out in post-production. So what?
You're not afraid to in that way. It's so real. And I do love when I come over and it's like, do you want to try this? It was an experiment.
Like, it turned out kind of weird, but
I don't know how it turned out, but let's just try it, you know. And I think a really important piece too about the way that you cook that I really appreciate is your resourcefulness. I think, you know, even the last time when on Easter, we spent Easter together, and when you made these chicken sandwiches, you didn't have like this proper bag for the flour. And I remember you like used another bag that you had. I don't even know if you remember this. So that the flour wasn't going every. No, it was for the chicken. You were putting the chicken in flour, and like it was just so inventive. And I remember I complimented you on it, and you told me how it should properly be done. And I was like, I would have not even known. I still would have been so impressed. And so I think that's also something for me that I'm learning, especially It's difficult, I think, with my lifestyle sometimes to be inspired around cooking. You know, like at the end of the day, I can feel so exhausted, or I'm like, I don't have everything that I need in order to create what I want to create. And that's not always true, you know? Like, for example, I don't have like an iron cast skillet, which I'd love to get, but I still make pretty
You can send one to Just a Dash if you want to make a donation.
I still though make a pretty bomb-ass like smoked salmon though, even just in like my stainless steel pan. Like I think people shouldn't be discouraged from experimenting or doing different things.
This is a thing where I like sometimes try to be grown and I'm like, I don't need to sift it, but then I end up with these big chunks of flour in my stuff. So you do actually want to like sift the flour.
Yeah. And do you feel like you learned these like tricks and trades just through experimenting? Do you feel like it's important to look things up or to understand like how ingredients work together, or do you think people really should just explore and have fun?
Oh, I mess things up a lot. No, really though, it's like not that big of a deal. Like,
period.
Like, oh no, I made this like weird stringy cheese. Like, even if it's, you know, like it's different in a, you know, a restaurant setting where I'm like, I just made you like pay $80 for this plate. Like, yeah, you better be consistent on it. But like when you're cooking at home, it's it's chill.
Yeah, you kind of just do your own thing.
Home. It's okay. Thank you.
Yes. Here we go. Beautiful.
Do you have a whisk, actually?
Let's see.
Don't. That's okay.
Oh, I do.
Look at that.
I actually have. Oh.
Not that sharp little thing falling right next to your foot.
Oh my gosh. This is really
your toes life. I think I just like saw a Miami Beach memory like flashing.
Which is your preference?
I just like the color. This fabulous lime green.
Okay. My next question that I have for you, and it's kind of in the same camp, is around inspiration of flavors. So another thing that I really enjoy about anything that you create is that there's always a combination of different cuisines. You're always pulling from different regional flavors, and I feel like you like to explore different restaurants. Why is that important to you, to like make your food global, to not just stick to one sort of palate?
I mean, I think again, it's just kind of functional. It's like what makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think that it is a cool way to, like, food is so connected to like a place and a people, and usually a cuisine has the ingredients it has because that's what grows indigenously there. So like you're learning something about the landscape and the geography, and like, so when I talk about, again, concept-based cooking, sometimes I think about like, what continent do I want to be on, you know? And then from there you can kind of think about like what spices they tend to combine, like, and everybody knows it intuitively. Like some of them are more like nuanced, real, like, oh, garam masala or something, right? But largely we have a concept of what different foods taste like if we've had them. Yeah. And so I think just like
I think also, at least I've experienced this, and I'm maybe you feel the same way, but I also think it's a beautiful way to connect with people. I think something I always really, really value and appreciate is when I do have friends of different backgrounds who want to understand what Haitian food tastes like, or who want to, you know, understand why the, you know, soup joumou has significance.
Why
you
it's
know,
important,
like it's a way to me that I do think of certain friends I have who they've never expressed any interest around my culture, you know, or what, you know, I grew up eating, or what I enjoy, or why it matters to me. And I do think those are different ways that you get to understand and learn about someone else's home, someone else's upbringing. You know, these are the ways that we integrate into each other's lives. You know?
Right, and it's kind of a snapshot into their like visceral being too, just like smells and things that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was definitely one of my favorite things when you did Feast Fairy. I feel like it was so intentional what food, it was so curated, you know, like what are flavors that you enjoy, that are familiar to you, you know, and I think a lot of the times, you know, and I've done many different types of food services, but, you know, they can make it more universal, or what everyone else, you know, enjoys, chicken breast and broccoli or something like that, you know.
Right.
I feel like when you did Feast Fairy, it was just so intentional about the person that you were working with.
Right, and I think, because like everything, it was very bespoke, and it was usually, different people had different ways of establishing what their menu would be for the week. And somebody that used to like to look at Instagram things and like send me 5 or 6 things that looked good. Yeah. And I was like, look at the picture of that, look at the thing, and make me something like that. Other people, you know, I had a friend that was like, he was very regimented, he's a fitness trainer, like, I made him a form to fill out every week, and he just dropped down. He's like, I want chicken and salmon and beef this week.
I love
this week I
that.
just want salmon and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
so like I want my green thing to be broccoli and asparagus this week. I want my
Yeah.
like, and I just made like colors, and he just picked his like. So there's just different ways that people want to get at it. Some people really are into like looking at sandwich boards, you know, like the
Yeah.
egg boards, like outside of restaurants, and like send me pictures of that and be like, that thing looks so good.
Yeah.
Or if you like remember something you're talking about with someone, like tell me
Yeah.
that.
Well, I think what also, like, I'm listening to
Listening,
you.
it's about deep listening.
It is about deep listening, and as I'm listening to you, I'm also like, you inspire people to be excited about food. I feel like when we were discussing my menu for Feast Fairy, like, it was so intentional about like what makes sense for my schedule, what makes sense for my lifestyle.
There's a lot of constraints that
What-
we're dealing
yes.
with as humans, and I
Yes.
come from a design background, and in design we just embrace the constraint and move on.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, look at you just cutting this open with that knife, child. Y'all saw that? Okay, what are you doing now?
putting some ricotta cheese in there. That's like part of
Okay.
my experiment sometimes. Like I feel like it just gives us a little bit more creaminess. It is kind of grainy, so I feel like I gotta do better than I did yesterday, but it just
Okay.
kind of makes it really, thanks. I just hand that to you.
Okay,
It makes it kind
I'm a
of,
sous
thickens
chef.
it up a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like my hope is that it's gonna give the cheese something to kind of grab onto when we start melting this cheese in here.
Okay, beautiful.
And so one thing that I have learned about making these cheese sauces from my mistakes is that if you heat it too fast, the like cheese separates from the fat, and then it like gets you have like the stringiness in the oils. I think, oh, look at that, they gave us the thing.
Beautiful, okay.
So you get the kind of like stringy melty cheese that separates from the oil and it cuts
Yeah.
it a clump. So if you want it to like be together, you have to like pour it in a little bit at a time and like kind of slowly melt it. So you can't just like dump the whole thing in. Great, just let that drain in there. Beautiferous.
Okay, there's our pasta. Oh, we're making such progress.
We want them to get dark, like really dark, like or they're not
Okay.
poblanos, they're jalapenos. We want them to get really nice and dark though.
All right. All right, we're making pretty good progress.
And like the hottest day we've had in months, we're like, let's walk
No,
around
it's really-
at the Haitian
no.
Flag Day Parade in the like,
Literally.
sun, and then come and turn on this oven and roast some peppers and boil water and make sauce.
I
So-
thought that today when I was literally getting all these ingredients, I was like, I would pick a day that like it's the noisiest. They're blasting music.
I wasn't like, let's make some pan-seared chicken on a salad. No, I
No,
said, let's make
child.
some winter food.
Okay, and
This
we're
is what you
making a
do.
lot of it so that we can have some for each one of us, which I'm really excited about. I do want to jump back into what we were talking about related to accessibility and finding the time, and people have different lifestyles. I think a question I have for you is you always carve out time to make a meal for yourself. And what do you think is maybe a starting point? How do I create a relationship with food where I want to cook, where I want to step into the kitchen and create a meal for myself? Like, where does someone begin?
I guess I can't like make you want something. For me, it's about desire. I've been thinking about this poblano mac and cheese for days. Like I am so, and like literally physiologically digestion starts in the head.
Yeah.
And your
Ooh,
brain.
is that true?
Yeah, like your brain turns on, it's like, we're gonna eat. And then tells your like digestive enzymes to start going and like,
Yeah.
and so that's why you get super wasted actually when you are on vacation. When you leave your house to go to like your bar,
Yeah.
like you know kind of where you're going, and so your body sort of automatically starts creating these enzymes to like metabolize alcohol. And when you are in an unfamiliar place, like you know in your brain that you're leaving to go to the bar, but your body
Yeah.
doesn't know the way to that restaurant, and so it doesn't start making these things. So all of a sudden you're just mashed up for no reason. So yeah, it's like about getting excited about something, and that was the thing that I tried to do on my calls with my clients a lot, was just like get at the desire, because then it was something that they could be excited about.
Yeah.
Like there's so much like drudgery in the everything we do, is like so much work here.
Yeah.
And so to like have something to be excited about, and then to like to want and to have, and I'm indulgent in that way. I want something and I want to have it, and
Yeah.
I want it now, and I can't, during the pandemic, like I did not live near anywhere that had Indian food, and when I had lived in Seattle, I lived right around the corner from really yummy Indian food, and I missed it so much. So I said, I got nothing but time. Let me figure out how to make this, because it's a really labor-intensive type of food to make.
Right.
And so I was like, let me learn how to make some of these dishes that I'm really craving. Again, it's usually 'cause, like I want something and I can't have it, and so I make
Yeah,
it. I
that's
don't
what
accept
inspires
that. I
you.
don't accept that I
Yeah.
can't have it.
Yeah, that's real. And I mean, I have to tell you, there's a lot of perks to having a really good friend who's a chef. I'm not gonna lie. But it does also inspire me. I feel like also part of the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you is because I find that we have starkly different relationships to food. Like, you are a person, every time I speak to you, there's so much intentionality, there's love, there's enjoyment, and there are times for me where food can feel so utilitarian, where it's just like, okay, like, it's the end of the workday, I'm exhausted. It would be lovely to be up in my kitchen playing shots, but I just need something quick to eat, right? But I also realized how dissatisfying that was for me, and how, you know, there is something to be said about enjoying a meal and what that reflects about your own self-care.
I like to think about future Nico, and maybe that's part of my habit of making enough food for 40 people at all times, is I'm like, I don't want to be like, I want this effort to last me a few days.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll make something that I can like go a few different directions with.
Yeah.
But like,
mix it up.
But yeah, a lot of times, and in general, just like I think as a like production manager and all these other like fields that I work in, like having foresight is so useful. And so I like try to get ahead of things, and so yeah, I'm like, future Nika's gonna want easy food.
Yeah.
So I like just make
I love that. I love also you calling it easy food.
Yeah.
Easy food.
No, that's like, so that's like kind of funny. That's this area of silly debate in our house. What a snack means.
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
let's talk
you're
about
looking
it.
at one. No, semantically, a snack just means a small amount of food.
Okay.
I think that the marketing companies have told us that snacks mean food in packages that are ready to go. So Ish makes fun of me, like, she laughs at me because I'm like, I want a snack, and then I'll get up and spend the next 40 minutes cooking and then make like the smallest plate and then eat the smallest bit.
Sure.
But then I'm like, and then I'll eat the other thing.
I gotcha. There's this one snack I love to make, which is, and you could do it with saltines or Ritz crackers, but I take Ritz crackers, a little bit of smoked salmon, a little bit of Gruyere cheese, and a Kalamata olive. That is one of my, and when I lived with roommates, they would refer to it as my elevated snacking. I think something that has been really helpful to me, at least as I've been really nurturing my relationship with food, is really knowing what flavors I enjoy and how I can mix those things together, but also what are my go-tos on a day when I don't know what to eat that I know are tried and true and I enjoy. And I'm curious what you think about this. Something that my sister, and I don't know if she still does it, but I always thought it was fascinating. She goes grocery shopping each week. I know a lot of people, when they do their grocery shopping, I'm guilty of this. You do it for the month. You try and get things for a longer extended period of time.
No, it goes bad.
And it goes bad, or like what you desire changes so frequently. And I think it's
2 Sundays ago, this like big bag of apples looked so good, but now I'm over it.
And I think a lot of people, that's a mentality that maybe we need to shift. And I don't know if that's part of Western culture. I know for me growing up, we definitely were going to VJs. We were buying things in bulk. Right. And something I had to really learn, especially when I moved to New York, I'm not with a family of 4 anymore.
And we don't have space to do that.
We don't have space for that.
That's like a suburban luxury. You have like a huge pantry that you can just store a massive 20-pound bag of rice.
Exactly. And I think at least for me, it felt like a state of luxury to be going to the supermarket every week. But in reality, when you shift your mentality and understand that it's more efficient, it's more effective, and it allows you to have a bit more control over an area in your life, carving out time differently for food, I think, changes your relationship to it.
Yeah, and I think back to that kind of foresight, like if I'm at the store, sometimes I'll go just to do like a stock up of like organic meats or something. If there's like, I see something like on sale, it's grass-fed beef, I'm gonna go and get a few of them and throw them in the freezer. So that really all I have to do is stop by any number of places to just grab produce. And I know I've got some form of meat, and I decide what continent to take it to, and figure out my veggies accordingly. But that's like a way to do it.
Yeah.
Can you, sous chef, grab us a splash of milk?
Absolutely, I'm on it.
Shake it like a Polaroid. I am a licensing nightmare.
No.
Okay.
You interrupted yourself soon enough. That was barely like 30 seconds.
Cut it. All right, that's good.
That's good? Okay. It looks so beautiful.
It's coming out smooth.
Really
we're getting it right. I'm so glad on camera I was like, this is high pressure. What if I mess it up? Oh well. I've messed up. So this is the thing I said to the music students all the time, my little performing kiddos that get so nervous. I'm like, I have messed up so many times. So many people. 0 casualties today.
Yeah.
Nobody, like, I had another show after that, and I still have a career. I still have a freaking career. I am here today teaching you. There were hundreds of people that witnessed that mistake, and it's still okay.
But I'm gonna pat you down.
Permanent. Yeah, and this
Look
is
at our
like,
chef, y'all.
Oh wow.
Look at our chef.
I feel like a rapper.
Look, okay. Like yes, on the stage, but they're performing. Okay, period.
Leaky fresh.
Do you want some water?
I will in a minute. We're almost done with our sauce.
Okay, beautiful. Actually, while we're finishing up the sauce, I think the last question I have for you, just like in this framework that we're talking, you've mentioned a couple times now a few other creative endeavors or other things that you also do, you know, whether that's teaching music or as a project manager. How do you think that overlaps around how you are in the kitchen?
It's like the spiritual teaching, like how you do anything is how you do everything. And so I think there's just like kind of no matter what I'm doing, it's all part of like creative process. Like in one of 4 phases, I'm either like, I call it spew phase, where I'm outputting or like brainstorming.
Yeah.
Or I'm evaluating the contents of that brainstorm, right?
Sure.
Like what are the ridiculous ideas? What are the fully undoable ones? What are the ones that are restricted by get rid of the ones that don't serve you. So in the context of cooking, you know, it's like pull everything out of the fridge, right? That's the spew. I'm like looking at what I'm working with. I'm like, okay, well that and that are rotten. Okay. This, I'm like, okay, throw it out. Okay, I'm not gonna put honey in my pasta and move that out of the way. And once you've kind of narrowed down what you want to work with, then you can start to organize it into like something that you want to work with. And like that's when you can get myopic and like deal with details. But I think if you get into like details too soon, right? People are like, I can't make macaroni. Like, what if the cheese? I'm like, so what?
Because people get really intimidated. I've known more than one person who was afraid of cleaning chicken. Or how do you cook chicken? Or where do you start with chicken?
I mean, whether or not you even clean it is up for debate, but like...
We clean it up in this household.
Yeah,
So.
but also if you're too scared...
Yeah. Yeah. In Caribbean upbringing, it's called chaude, and you know, and it's just and you do it really quickly. It's just to blast away, and it's just a quick little rinse. And I will tell you, I know many people who find that controversial because they think it's like you're already cooking the chicken or you're taking away flavor. I've not had that experience.
I just want to rinse off when I leave the airport. You know, that chicken came a long way to get to me from whatever farm. Like
that's literally what it is.
Let
you
the
know,
friend rinse off.
Especially in terms of quality of food, which is something that we were talking about earlier. But I remember when I traveled to Costa Rica.
It also feels like a moment to like that was a life. You know, it also feels like a moment to actually like be with that life, to like thank it. It's like preparing the dead, like preparing.
Prepare and honor your food is so different, you know, around the world. And in my own upbringing, I remember when I traveled to Costa Rica, I do feel like the quality of food almost felt different to me because the way it was prepared was different, you know?
There's no like chef screaming at everyone.
Yes.
Like,
which I do think influences how your food tastes.
Yeah, it's
I've actually had direct experiences. You know, I think many people associate like their elderly, you know, family members with food, like it just being enriching and delicious and flavorful. And that is my experience.
It's
but
made with love, literally.
Literally, you know, like their heart goes into it. And I've had the opposite experience of like when a family member is heartbroken or not at their best, cooking a meal and it does not come out the same way. So there is this emotional connectivity.
Oh my God,
to
look
what
at
you're
this.
creating.
Do you want to be a trier of this? You want to get a spoon, see if it needs anything? It might need
I
some
keep
salt.
beaming at this camera because I'm so happy with how the sauce is coming out. I'm very excited. Okay, hold on. All right, let's see.
It should like coat the spoon nicely too, even if you just dip it and take it out. Yeah.
Nico's favorite vocal stick. Oh, it's so good.
Sweet, doesn't need anything? I kind of want to
think so.
be a heathen and put some black
Well,
pepper in it.
I was gonna say, yeah. That's what I was gonna
forgot to put
say.
onion powder in it
Yeah,
too.
I was gonna say we could put onion, garlic, and black
Oh,
pepper.
you did have onion powder. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, but I think that in terms of let me open this one. But in terms of salt level, it's good.
Great. Okay, I meant to put all these things in earlier. But
That's okay.
you're right. So this might, I don't know if there's like, if they're a real chef that went to culinary school.
All this stuff would be prepped.
Yeah. If they're like, you needed to have put those dry things in together with the flour or some kind of thing like that. But
you don't
I
worry
think
about
we can be
that,
all right.
so.
I mean, sometimes you're like, dang, I should have done that. But
You know
I'm not
what?
going to be too worried about it right now.
I'm gonna be real with
not.
With baking, I find that it is really important, the order of things. I actually prefer cooking to baking because I feel like you can be far more experimental with cooking. Like you can get away with a lot more. You can get away with the order in which you do something and like it'll still turn out great.
PSA, I'm like, I don't use the little sprinklies. I just pour it into the cup.
And as your measurement.
Kind of, yes. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go like a, not even, just like a light capful. Maybe that's gonna feel like.
I also always, I feel like, use the actual containers as my form of measurement. Like I do that with my olive oil.
Like,
I always use the lid.
I think like a fat palmful is about a tablespoon.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I measure things.
I think like 6 cloves is about quarter cup, maybe, I don't know. I've like done little kind of experiments before. Ooh, black pepper.
You like the community chef, okay? That's the energy you're giving.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely chef to the masses. So yeah, we are getting a little bit of like powdered onion, powdered clump, but I think it's gonna be all right. It's gonna dissolve.
Okay.
In an ideal world, I probably should have mixed it with the flour, but
All right.
well,
we'll see
black
what
pepper in there.
version we get this time around. I know. I'm excited to taste it again.
Okay, let's just turn off our oven too, because it's getting hot. And then we can let those kind of finish doing their thing in the like residual.
You're looking great. Okay. And then what's our next step after this?
Then we
Do we
just
need to put this in anything?
no, I'm gonna just like let this mix up. I'm actually gonna turn the heat off, let it cool down a little bit so it can kind of thicken.
Okay.
And then we're gonna dump this into this, so we'll put this back into that. We are taking these roasted jalapenos out of the oven. You put it in, you can take them out.
Oh, they look so good.
They are so roasty.
Yes.
So roasty. Ooh, do you have a pair of tongs?
I do have a pair of tongs.
Yes, okay, so I think another PSA, if there's one kitchen tool that you need, it's tongs.
Oh, that's actually a great segue. What do you think, like, if someone is just starting out cooking, like, but they're really wanting to make everyday meals for themselves, what are key things you should have?
Yeah, like 5 pairs of tongs. Love tongs. Love tongs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, oh no.
We lost one. Oh
That's,
my
you know,
God.
it's the sip on the concrete for the homies.
I love that, period.
Sink.
Okay.
Okay, sad. That was a good one too.
Okay.
All right, now I've got gloves on, so I probably shouldn't burn my fingers too much. So
Okay, you're gonna chop these.
chop these up.
This was such a quick meal to make, y'all, actually, and pretty straightforward. I think I say it countless times, but I feel like the food that you create is always so delicious, but it's also so accessible. I feel like it's always less than 10 steps. You know, like it's not anything too crazy to create. So I'm very excited to eat this meal. I'm excited that we were able to put it together on camera. I hope people are inspired and they'll create their own version of this.
You could cook along, yeah.
Yeah, you can cook along, you can learn from this recipe. It can be your new meal that you create for the week, who knows? Like, you could make this quantity too, honestly, because this is for more than 2 people.
Also, I skipped, like, people who roast peppers will tell you, like, what I should have done really was pull the skin off before I chopped them up.
Ooh.
But sometimes the skin will be really, like, big and clear and can come off like that. So I kind of chop it up and then look for the big pieces. But otherwise, I don't worry too much about it. Like, I'm eating the skin anyway if I, eat it in another format. So
Do you feel that in general, like, for example, when you make mashed potatoes, skin on the potatoes or skin off?
again, I'm so utilitarian. Unless the potatoes are green and I need to peel the green off.
Yeah.
Because the green is dangerous. There's like poison in it. But unless it's green, I don't really like to peel vegetables. I don't worry about peeling vegetables because it takes a lot of time and I don't feel like doing that. And that's where all the nutrients are anyways, in the skin.
You are,
and the stems and stuff. I don't pull herbs off of stems.
Yeah.
I'm just like, give me those dill stems.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so next, I guess, let's put our pot on the...
Is there any specific way I can just pour it in?
Just pour a little sauce on there. We'll stir it up. Yes.
Yeah.
Sauce everywhere.
Work.
Oh,
Work.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It smells
spatula-
so good.
A spatula is a really good one to have. So I'm like, I want to get every
Ooh, I actually have a little spatula.
Oh, do you
the
have
the
one?
flexible kind.
Yeah,
Yes.
love a flexi spat.
I know, and I actually have many different types of spatulas. This is maybe the one thing I would recommend because I love eggs. And I love making poached eggs or scrambled eggs or flipping that or an omelet. And you need different spatulas to achieve that.
It's true.
So I've always ended up with, many different spatulas. And I will say, when you live in New York, especially again, it can be very transient, which means you might live in a lot of different apartments. My apartment, I always joke like I'm the little old lady who lived in a shoe who just has a hodgepodge of things from people. But I do. My kitchen is a hodgepodge of pans, of pots, of spatulas, all of it can be useful. And shout out to the people who let me take, things with me. My electrical teapot is maybe my number one. If you're a person who enjoys tea, who enjoys coffee, things that help simplify. I think something you have that I think is amazing is an air fryer.
Yeah, I make toast in it. Like I
That's
think
a
it
pretty
replaces-
incredible thing
replaces
to have
toaster
in New
oven.
York. Yes, is an air
I think,
fryer.
and they come in different sizes, but like those, electrical pressure cookers. I don't even need to. There's not any specific brand. I even need to plug. Thank you. All right, let's get
Stir it up.
So you do the honors. Stir it up, little
Oh my
darling.
goodness, y'all! It
Um,
smells so.
It's so gooey. Oh, looks like I need to eat that.
Period.
Like, don't eat me. So I'm not so bad.
Okay. Well, as we wrap this up, so I have one last closing question for
I'm
you.
gonna wash my hands. All right. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Wash your hands.
All right. Fire away.
Okay. My question for you is, when you think about the word home, and you think about food, what about those two things feel synonymous for you?
I think recharge, like my home is my place where I go to recharge. Like really recharges me to have my friends around. Yeah, and so that can mean a lot of things. Like I identify with the turtle because like their home is everywhere. They got their home on their back and they're just always at home. So I think home, yeah, is like a feeling. I think home is a place for stillness. Home is a place for. And I think food is such a recharging thing, right? That,
Yeah.
like, so I'm such a picnicker. I'm like, anywhere we're gonna go, I'm like, what are we gonna eat when we're there?
You are that person,
And
absolutely.
it's like, Leisha, like, what are we having?
Yes.
Like I am not going somewhere if I don't know what I'm eating.
I love that.
And if you want to show me love, think about what we're gonna eat if you're gonna ask me to go somewhere.
Okay, period. Okay, and with that, we are going to enjoy this meal. Nico, thank you so much for joining me for Just a Dash. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that you are inspired to make your own meal. I hope that you'll start thinking about how food can help you nurture the home within yourself and at large. And have a meal with a friend, okay? And that's that.
I have a quick theory on
Tell me.
Food is even better when it's shared, and it's not. Well, so and it's
true.
not like by multiples. So it's not that this is gonna be twice as good because we're having it, and my friend my friend at work is gonna have it.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's gonna be 3 times as good. It's gonna be to the power of 3. It's like exponentially better with each person that you add into the mix. I feel like so that's why like big meals are so special.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what's the one last thing you wanted to leave with folks, and
There
I
it
think
is.
that was it.
Share your food.
Share your food. Thanks, everybody. I'll catch you on the next episode, sweet peas.